Welcome back to the Faculty Factory podcast. I'm here with my new friend, Dr. Martin Zeier. Hi, Martin.
Hi, great to meet you. Thanks for this invitation.
This is such a fun experience for me. I'm sitting here on Zoom with Martin, who's in my office. So we're right next to each other. I just met Dr. Zeier this morning. He is the head of the nephrology department at the University Hospital of Heidelberg, Germany. We're so thrilled to have him here. Dr. Zeier is a friend of our president, Dr. Jochen Reiser. Dr. Zeier was just in Houston at what was the conference name?
Well, it was the annual meeting of the American Society of Nephrology.
Drove down from Houston yesterday, just in time for the Lone Star Rally. So maybe you saw some of the motorcycles.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful event here on the island of Galveston. I think it's the country's second largest motorcycle rally.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it was a wonderful weekend. And so Dr. Zeier's here, and I was just so excited to have a conversation with you that I said, let's hop on a podcast right now. So thank you for being on the Faculty Factory, where we are a community sharing tools to build leaders. Your story is fascinating. I love your background, and I'd love to just kind of pick your brain about what you can share with the international community of folks doing academic health and leaders. And so take it away, Martin.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity that we can talk together. And we shared a lot of ideas already. And I got the feeling we have more or less the same ideas how to build up groups, how to build up, for example, a team in a hospital and to exercise leadership. So that's something which followed me all my career. And for more than 20 years now, the head of the Department of Nephrology in Heidelberg. And I was always curious, how could I build a team? How could I advance a team? And how can I get better, not only in my medical profession, but also in my leadership? And I think that's very important because the one hand is that what we do every day, the care for our patient, research, education, training, and so on. And the other thing is we are spending most of our time not at home, but in the hospital or in the profession. And we need to, arrange each other in our professional area and to advance each other. And that was one of the very important thing for me. That's why I also did a second training in organizational psychology, because I thought that might be helpful for me to be a better leader, actually. I talked with Kim before, and there's one picture which came in mind, and I just want to share it with you. You probably all know this monumental movie of Ben-Hur, and Ben-Hur came to a person. It's called the Arab. There was no specific name, so I just cited. And he had four horses. He loved them very much, and he tried to put them on a race, and they had to be trained for this race. And he had a trainer who tried to put these horses in the right way together, and didn't work, because every time they went around the curve, the car which was hooked to the horses fall over. Because, and that was the reason, the fastest horse was in the inner side and the slowest on the outside. So Ben-Hur saw this and said, just put over the horses. You have to change simply the group. They are all good. They are all good. They are all excellent, but they are not on the right place. And he did that, and they won the race. You may know this movie. It's just a movie and a picture, but it was so important for me, for my career as a head of a department, that I thought I need to understand where are the people I work with them on the right place. How can I advance them that they are getting better? Not me, but them, because altogether I stand actually as a leader on the shoulders of my coworkers.
That's wonderful. I love the story. I really appreciate that insight into taking the time to know our team members, to understand their strengths, to leverage the strengths, and to realize that it's not any one person, that we're all part of this team and this machine, that the other metaphor of a rising tide raises all ships.
Right.
That if you have that faster horse on the outside, yes, he will shine. People will say, oh, wow, look at that big fast horse. Isn't he amazing? And the whole team will win. And the carriage will not tip over.
Right.
So it's a fascinating, and I love that you did organizational psychology. It's a fascinating reminder to me, and my background's in sociology, is to understanding the forces that and the factors that compel us to work and not work together. So I think it's just really interesting that you were drawn to that. And can you tell us a little bit more about why your why? Maybe when did you notice that you were interested in doing more leadership?
Right.
Were you compelled to? Did someone say, "Oh, Martin, you're going to be a leader someday," or did you feel like it's something I should do? Or what in you drove you to have that insight to think this way?
A good question. Actually, it came from observations from other colleagues who came in positions because they were extremely and excellent good researchers, or they had other skills, so the faculty thought they should be hired. And they did, of course, a good job. But I often saw that the co-workers of these great people, often men, were extremely frustrated, and they had a high throughput of hiring new people. Other people were leaving. So I thought, how does this happen? Because there's a lot of frustration on both sides. You hire people, they leave you because they don't understand what you want, or they are not satisfied with the position. So I thought I'd like to do it better, but I need help. I need help. I need education. I need training, and that's why I did this training in this organizational psychology, and I also wrote a master thesis on that. And my focus actually was on this transactional and transformational leadership. And I think that's very important because most leaders lead transactional. So they lead according to figures. Did we reach a certain benchmark? Did we see enough patients? And did we do enough, or the number of operations we planned? And all these things. And that's in a way necessary because you have to structure something. It's not wrong. I don't say that there's anything wrong. But if you only lead with figures and with benchmarks and so on, people get frustrated because in the healthcare system, we often don't reach these figures for various reasons. For example, during the pandemic, everything went wonderful 2020 in our hospital. We had a good patient flow. We were successful. And once in a sudden, there was a shutdown. So everything was not anymore as it used to be before. So this is the one part. The other part is when we are judged by transactional leadership from our leaders above, so to speak, then we do it the same with our coworkers. We tell them, okay, you need to write the paper, you need to write 5 abstracts, you need to do this and that and so on. And when they achieve it, it's fine. We clap them the shoulder and say, okay, you did fine, and that's all. But that's by far not all, by far not all. So that's why I'm reading a lot of papers, textbooks, and so on, and I found this transformational leadership. Transformational leadership has certain items. I just want to cite them. I wrote them down for me because I don't want to forget one of them. So one is idealized influence. So we build a kind of a trust between each other. So we trust each other. My mentee is trusting me that I want to achieve him, and I can trust him that he is really doing it in an honest way with me. Then in inspirational motivation, I articulate my visions. I tell this person, listen, I can see you in this position in the future. What can I do for you? What can we do both together to get you in this position, right? So sometimes the mentee can see behind the cloud or behind the mountains, but I know it maybe because I have a lot of experience, and I communicate it, and I try to motivate this person to do this. Then also intellectual stimulation. People like to do their work in a stimulation way. They don't want to, like somewhere in a factory putting things together 1,000 times a day, and they go home and after a week or a month or so they get the paycheck and that's all. That's not what they really want. They want intellectual stimulation. I need to, challenge them, but once I challenge them, I also have to make sure that they get the necessary resources to advance with this stimulation I gave them. And of course, they need individualized consideration. So we need to talk together. We need to sit down. That's not necessary in a formal way. We can meet somewhere. We can maybe during the work, even when I do rounds, I talk with my people. I know them. I understand them. I also know a bit of their, their sorrows they have because for various reasons. So there's a personal relationship which is built. Also, this mentoring and listening, I think, is extremely important. And sometimes I have ideas. I mentioned it before. I see behind the mountain or on the top of the mountain what they might not see. But maybe they don't want to go there. So I also have to accept as a leader that not everything what I think is good for you or for him is or for her is really that what they want. So when they give me honest feedback, we have to change maybe our goal. Maybe we have to move to another target. And I think this is really the core point of transactional leadership. And I like to put it together in another 4 words, which are actually the empathetic, the empowering, the passionate, and the visionary leader, which really is this transformational leadership.
Wow.
And in the end, the people do more and they are happy. Or at least they are more happy. Now, the other thing is, which is also important to round this or to wrap this up and bring things together, we need to combine transactional and transformational leadership. So as I said before, transactional leadership is not wrong.
Right.
It's a tool. And we need this because otherwise, things are not in order. So you can't run a hospital, a company, business, whatever, without a structure. So what the researchers from sociology, for example, say, they say give transactional, but don't overdo transactional. So let's say we need 30% transactional and probably 70% transformational leadership. Then it's working. So in my hospital or in my division, I have people who are really dedicated to transactional work, and they love it. And I let them go. And I have others who are very much prone to this transformational leadership, and we put them together. It's not always easy. Sometimes there are also, some conflicts to solve, but it's solvable. It's manageable. And when we put this transactional together with transformational, I think this is a very, very important thing. I wrote my master thesis in terms of leadership in voluntary work. For example, I'm a voluntary trainer of a sport team, or I volunteer in a church or in an NGO or whatever. And these people are not paid, of course, because they do it by themselves, because they have an intrinsic motivation. And there is transformational leadership even more important, because if you frustrate them, they say, "Okay, I'm leaving. I don't need that.
I don't need it.
I don't need that exactly." So that's why I came on this, and I wrote my thesis, my master thesis on this subject. And I learned a lot. I had to go to the books. I had to discuss with my professor, Professor Diederich. And so at the end, I think I had a bit of profit. I'm not a perfect leader, absolutely not. Talk to my people, they would say, you could do much better. I know it, but I'm still learning all the time.
But Dr. Zeier, this is brilliant. And I love how you said, talk to my people. They tell me I need work. what that tells me is that you have created a team, an environment where people feel safe to give you that feedback.
Right.
Because they see in you a desire, a passion to improve and to learn.
Right.
And that to me is so fundamental of leadership, where you have an authentic connection of, I do care about you.
Yeah.
It is important to me who you are, what matters to you, for both transactional and transformational purposes. We understand we have to pay bills.
Yeah.
We understand we have to have money to support our cause. No money, no mission. And I also recognize that you are the lifeblood of this business, organization, hospital department. It's the people in it. So when your colleagues and learners and trainees hear this from you, I think that is the connection that people trust you. So I applaud your efforts. I love the way you think and the way you set out to build a community that's about a growth mindset, learning together, leading together. You're reminding me of Ted Lasso. Have you heard of that series on Netflix about the American guy who goes to London to be a soccer coach?
Okay.
And the whole series, Ted Lasso, is about him trying to fit in and learn this new culture of soccer. He's not a soccer player. He does not know the game, but it's a comical series, but it's a real great lesson in leadership of how he takes the time, and sometimes it's frustrating, to build relationship. And I'm wondering if, how do you maintain your commitment to being a transformational leader in this environment that seems so uncertain, unsteady, volatile? We're being pushed more toward transactional.
Right.
How do you make sure we don't drift too much to the, like you said, 30%? How do you do a gut check or make sure that, it's been a week since I've talked to people and they're seeing me stressed out? Because I feel that sometimes I lose my true north. Because the pressures are so intense that we know building relationship takes time.
Absolutely.
How do we remind ourselves that investment of time has greater dividend?
You're absolutely right. The adjustment is extremely important, and there are a couple of things which I think help us to adjust and to come back on this transactional leadership, not to forget, of course, to the transformational leadership, not to forget the transactional leadership. So you said it already, the most important thing is keep on communication, stay in contact with the people, and discuss with them. For example, when we had with our chief financial or economic officer discussion, who also runs the hospital, concerning the projections for the upcoming year. So how many patients can we treat? How are the expectations concerning the money which comes in? I don't do it alone. I tell my leading crew, that's about 6 to 7 people, let's sit together and discuss. That's very important. So I need an input from everybody. Not every input I can consider, or we can consider, because it's not, we have to run the hospital, as you said, at least plus minus zero. We cannot make a huge deficit, of course, but I need to know from them, because they have at the end to fulfill it. So they have to transport it to all the other people they co-work with them. So we sit together and discuss, and we try to find a common commitment to, that we all satisfied and happy with the result, what we plan for the upcoming year. So then the next thing is, sometimes there are, some personal problems. They need help in one or the other way. So when I can help, I help, of course. so they can come to me, or I can come even to them, and they help me and try to solve a problem, whatever. For example, from one of the colleagues, the father is sick. He can come to the hospital. We take care for him. We try to relieve the pressure. It's on this person. And the fourth thing, and think that's very, very important, and you might go on our website, nierenzentrum-heidelberg.com. We value the results and the success of our people. So when someone is getting a prize, like, for example, German Society of Nephrology or international organizations, we put them on the website, and their faces must be on the website, not my face, but their face. So it's very important to say, okay, I'm the one who opens the road, who is looking for the money, who tries to keep things going. But really, the star in this game, that's you, because you achieved like the best poster prize, like a scientific prize, like another one who achieved to another hospital as a leader, for example. That's really what matters. And I tell you one thing: if you do this, it gives you a good feeling. Talking to people in a company, you for example, they made a mistake or so, or you have to say them, okay, it's now over, you have to go. It makes you feeling bad. It's not only for the person who get the message feeling bad, it's also for me. It bothers me. It really bothers me over days even. But if I can, put one of my people, or of the people I'm working with, in a star position, let's say, even just on a website, it makes me feeling good, and that's resilient. I build resilience with that. So that's I think that's very important. That's how I work. I'm honest. It's not always working, but I learn day by day.
Oh, Dr. Martin Zeier, this has been wonderful talking with you today. We learned so much from you. We're going to put a link to your website in your profile. Okay. So friends, go to facultyfactory.org, read about Dr. Martin Zeier, go to his website, and we're going to get him back on the website. He's going to bring his colleagues and trainees to the Faculty Factory. And if you want to be in the Faculty Factory, you know how to go to the website and email me. Until then, I'll leave the parting comment to you, Dr. Martin Zeier.
Goodbye, and thank you very much, Kim, for this opportunity. We just met a few minutes ago, say, I don't know, less than 60 minutes. We already did a podcast, so that's wonderful.
All right.
So thanks so much.
Thanks for tuning in to the Faculty Factory podcast. We are a faculty development community sharing tools to build academic leaders in healthcare. Maybe you want to be interviewed on the podcast? Please visit facultyfactory.org/contact and send me a message there. The Faculty Factory podcast and website is sponsored by the Office of Faculty Affairs at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, Texas.